Paul Perillo joins us. Hi, Pip.
Yeah, a little more feeling today after a win.
Yeah. You feeling it? Was that a good thing for the team or a bad thing? I never know with you people.
First of all, I am not one of your people. It was a very good thing. I think it was important. Forgetting about all of your, bombast about how winning is better than losing, there was a little bit of a crossroads, I think, early on in the Gerard Mayo era. Absolutely a good thing. Absolutely.
Why?
You need some belief. You need to, you have your coach calling you soft, and you deal with those kinds of questions for a whole week and the fallout from that. And physically on the field, it wasn't a whole lot different, right? But mentally, that was as tough a performance as the Patriots have had in a while. Getting on the field twice in the fourth quarter, needing to score to go ahead. You're able to do it. And I know Brissett is technically not necessarily a backup, but your quarterback comes off the bench and is called into duty unexpectedly, and I think is probably the best game he's played. Jacoby Brissett. You make a couple of big plays with the game on the line. The big play to Booty obviously was the huge one. You find a way to get some contributions from different people. Big punt return. I thought there was a lot of toughness shown.
Okay,
a lot of mental toughness. That's important, I think, early on in a guy's regime.
Okay, so I was going to say, why is that important to Mayo? Why is that more important to you than getting the second pick versus the fourth pick?
Because you already have Drake Maye. I don't think that there's an urgency to pick second over sixth or seventh. Especially, I haven't really gotten into any of this process yet, but if it turns out that the left tackles, which I think is the number one need, aren't really worthy of top 10 picks, then even more so. What do you care if you pick fourth or eighth?
Right.
It doesn't matter. You could sell me if there was Orlando Pace in this draft or Jonathan Ogden, and you need to be in a certain spot to get him. But by all accounts, that's not the case.
Paul, can you put into words at all, has the vibe in the locker room been different this week?
Well, I know, and I'm not in the locker room all the time, but I know when talking to the guys today, Mike Dussault and Evan Lazar about it, they said, there was, it seemed like a little bit more lively, a little bit more juice in there. And, you can't blame them. You go 6 straight weeks without a win. That's a long time in that league. It's the longest losing streak they've had since 93. So, yeah, I think there was a little bit more pep in the step, so to speak.
And you couldn't tell which way it was going to go. After, Mayo said what he said, it would have been easy for players to say, we're soft, you suck.
Yeah.
I didn't really
have
that.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I didn't have fear of them doing that, but you never know until you see it.
Yeah. How come you didn't have fear of that?
Because I feel like that they really do like playing for Gerard Mayo right now. The thing that was important to me going back to the soft comment from 2 weeks ago was that the players, the coach, and everybody involved all specifically said he didn't say anything to you guys that he hadn't already said to us. It's one thing to get up in front of the media and start pointing fingers and calling everyone out when you're not willing to do that face-to-face to your players.
Right.
He had already done that. I think the players understood it. I think I mentioned last week Keon White was the guy that came across really well to me in the aftermath of that, and he said just that. He had already told us the same thing. We need to stop the run. We need to do our jobs better collectively. We need to show more professionalism. A lot of players, I think because they seemed to receive the message well, Mike, I didn't necessarily think they were going to roll over. Now, I didn't tell you they were going to win. I didn't think they would win. I'm not going to lie and pretend, they were 7-point underdogs and I saw that upset coming. I didn't, but I didn't think they would roll over and die. I figured they would come out and fight.
Okay, meanwhile, Drake Maye obviously concussed today. According to Gerard Mayo, he was going to be out at practice. Now, he wasn't there when the media was out there. But Mayo said, and we'll play the sound coming up, but he said Drake's in protocol. He'll be limited participant today in practice. So in saying that, yeah, he will throw the ball at times in practice today, but he will be limited. Now, if he's throwing a football, that's a football activity, which means... And again, not that you would know this.
He got you a little.
Well, Mazz sent this.
Yeah, that's right. It's right.
Mazz sent along the NFL concussion protocol. Phase 1, symptom-limited activity. I don't even know exactly what that means, but if you're in phase 1, you can only do limited activity. In phase 2, you can do aerobic exercise. In phase 3, football-specific exercise. So I would consider throwing a football-specific exercise.
Definitely.
I would too.
If he's in phase 3 on Wednesday
He's got a shot.
and at practice today, I'll take it one further. He's playing.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. But I would say he's got a shot because I think you need to be symptom-free 24 hours following all these steps. So just do the math. And if he's in phase 3, 24 hours later, if he's symptoms-free, he can be phase 4. Take it all the way to Saturday.
Can you go only one phase per day?
Well, yeah, I think you have to be.
Is there a phase limit? Can he jump from 3 to 5?
You know what? I don't know the answer to that question, but my guess is no.
Yeah.
My guess is it's a step, and you have to be 24 hours. But
okay, so
now there's also some other.
Hold on, I'm bad at math. So
there's a little ambiguity to what Gerard
today's
said today.
phase
That's all I'm
3.
just
saying.
wait. If today's phase 3, Thursday's phase 4, Friday's phase 5, 24 hours after Friday's phase
Correct.
5, they get on a plane.
He can play.
He can play. That's
Okay.
why I said I think he has a chance.
Now, what were you going to say?
No, the whole math part of it, in terms of what phase he's in, I think is still unclear because I think he mentioned that he was going to throw in some of these protocol lists, like the football activity of throwing, catching, running as phase 4. But then he also mentioned that he was going to be limited to 30 minutes of work, which is a phase 3 limitation. So that's a long way of telling you I have absolutely no idea where we stand with Drake Maye.
I think he's going to play.
I think he has a shot, no question.
It's headed that way. Yeah, I think. Look, it typically goes one day at a time. So to me, at this stage, tomorrow you see if he can work out without contact with the team. I mean, he would participate if he doesn't have any symptoms resulting from today. He's allowed to go to the next step.
What do you think of his performance, Paul? And what do you think? And do you have any thoughts about the injury? Is that just one-off, nothing to say, nothing to even think about, or is there some lesson there that he can learn? Because I think there is.
I think he, I think there is something to the fact that he slid a little bit late. Maybe next time you get down a little faster. I do think he was a little off balance after kind of splitting those. He kind of broke a tackle in the middle, splitting those two defenders, and maybe he wasn't quite, at full balance when he decided to slide. But yeah, I thought he did a good job. I thought the Jets were really this was 60 minutes. I thought they were really undisciplined in their rush.
Oh my God.
They left him huge lanes to go, and he took some free yards. He had a 17-yard touchdown, an 18-yard run on the play he got hurt on. Unfortunately, I didn't see as much in the short period of time. He only threw 6 passes. Didn't see as much to try to gauge how much different it looked from the previous week. I think I mentioned last week, I felt like he looked a lot more comfortable in the pocket against Jacksonville than he did against Houston. I wanted to see more of that. Unfortunately, we only saw a little more than a quarter.
Okay, I just think the running thing is a double-edged sword.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just, to me, at this stage, less is more. I know he can run. Like, if this is all about developing and what he can do and all of that, just, he checked the box. He can run really well. And I think they've been smart. They have not called a single design run for him in his 3 games. I don't even know if they did in the preseason.
Yeah, they had like a zone read in the red zone, and I would be okay with something like that.
In the preseason they did.
Yeah, right. I would be okay with something like that. But otherwise, I totally agree with you, Mike. Figure out how to play traditional quarterback now. That's what these reps, I think, are valuable for. And back to the whole whether or not he'll play on Sunday, I also think that part of the equation has to be how much preparation work he's going to be able to get in here. Because this is a guy who'll be making his 4th start. You want him to go into a 4th start without necessarily being able to go over the game plan. And, I'm talking about physically. Obviously, mentally, he can do that. But, physically going, do practice at a full level. I don't know. I think there's an argument to be made both sides.
I would just say hopefully there is a lesson for him. It's just get down. You don't need to run every time. Yeah. Like, we know you can run. Like, the whole thing. It just... Because the more you put yourself out there, the more susceptible you are, just obviously.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.